may seem like I've been talking a lot about Mode 7 lately, and that's because I believe it was an important stepping stone in the development of Nintendo's console lineup. Now, everyone's heard of the Nintendo 64, and at least played a few of the games thanks to Project 64. But what you may not know about is Mode 7 on the Super Nintendo. You might have heard of it, but you might not really know what it is. It's basically 3D effects using software only instead of hardware. And what they do is they have a scrolling floor. It scrolls around, it goes forward, backward, left, right, and it scrolls like this. And then they have a background that scrolls left and right, and that creates an illusion of 3D. And a good use of that was in Top Gear. Another good use of that would be Mario Kart, another racing game. It's often used in racing games primarily. There are several modes in Super Nintendo graphics, and the reason it's called Mode 7 is because it's the 7th graphics mode, is the 3D mode. There are other 3D modes where they use polygons and shaders and whatnot, but those require graphics chips, called the Super FX chip. And the only time those were used were in the 4 games Doom, Stunt Race FX, and Star Fox, and then there was another like MechAssault game or something like that. Can't remember the name of it. It's very obscure. But Star Fox and Doom are the most noted titles. I own 3 of the 4. I don't own the mech game, but I like to get my hands on it just for having collected all 4 Super FX chip games. The reason they only made 4 of the 4 games was because it was expensive for a developer to develop a game that used the chip because it required custom software to make the code. It was 32-bit and 16-bit in the same system, so it was a bit more difficult programming-wise, and it made the cartridges more expensive. And you had to remember, back then, Nintendo made you pay for the cartridges. You couldn't just make your own cartridges with your own cheaper components. You had to use Nintendo's cartridges. You couldn't make your own, so most developers just chose to use Mode 7. And the combination of Mode 7 and the graphics chips together, I believe, led to the development of the Nintendo 64, because you had a lot of the same techniques used, especially in Super Mario 64. You had the scrolling background and the 3D polygon shapes combined together in the same game to create a really good 3D game. And they do that a lot nowadays, only they don't use dedicated chips in the cartridges. With the Nintendo 64, they did the chips in the console, which raised the price of the console, but it reduced the price of the cartridges. Nowadays they use CDs, so they can't just use any old chips to improve a game. But the reason they used chips in the games was to reduce the console cost, because that was a big concern with gamers in the console wars. So sit back, relax, and you can enjoy this one. Now right off the bat, you'll notice the subliminal messages. Push B. And drive cars, because cars are great. Because you see a little car on the top. I say, just walk or take a bus or something, but this isn't a political thing, so do whatever you want. Now there are a variety of modes, 1-player, 2-player, Grand Prix, Time Trial, and a Battle mode. Now the battle mode you would do online on this thing called the X-Band, but that is now defunct. Pick a race, and off to the race we go. 3, 2, 1, go! Moving up real fast, picking up some coins. If you use the R or the L, you can drift, but I don't do that. It's for more advanced racers. I'm gonna have to cut this one short, guys, because Capture Card is acting kind of funny, and I don't have much more time because I want to do an end face, kind of or like an epilogue to this video. So I'm just gonna end this soon. Now, the use of Mode 7, unlike some of the other games where it's more glitzy or glamorous, is well used. It's well used here in this case. And the graphics are top-notch. I noticed a little bit of, you know, grainy artifacts and whatnot, but that's due to the Mode 7 standard. One of the benefits of Mode 7 is, while you can have more advanced 3D graphics, you trade with resolution to keep the frame rate going up and not overstress the console processor. The game I liked because it's Mario Kart. It was the first one to come out, the first Mario Kart. It's very fun, easy to play. Has a nice 2-player mode. It was one of the first online games. Used a modem to connect to a server, which then connected you with a player it matched you with, and you could do all sorts of cool stuff with that, but that is now ancient history. It's called X-Band. You can look it up at X-Band 411 in Google search. I don't know the exact site, but just look that up and you'll find all sorts of information on it. It's a timeless classic. I mean, they have it on the Wii and the Nintendo channel or something like that. I don't have a Wii, so I wouldn't know, but you can pick it up for like some Wii points or something. If you actually do happen to own a Super Nintendo, I would say pick this one up. It's definitely worth it. That and Super Mario World, which will come up in the next review, or somewhere along the line I will review Super Mario World. Thank you for watching, and please comment/subscribe.